Good morning, everybody.
All right.
People filing in here. I could not believe when I got up this morning and the ground was completely white. It's my son's first day of baseball, so when I looked out the window and it was like a few moments ago, I think it was just kind of a little squall, but I looked out the window and it was white, and I said, wait, this is baseball today.
Hey, it's April. There's always a cold week or snow at the beginning of April.
Yes.
So I'll take it on April 1st because then it's at least not coming in a week or two.
True.
But yeah, I was a little shocked this morning going out to the car. I was like, oh, we got to grab your winter coat, not your little fleece light jacket from now on. So
it's crazy. All the tulips look so cold out there this morning. My son was catching a frog yesterday, and today it's like, what the heck?
Yep, exactly. But that's spring for you, especially in Michigan.
Only in Michigan can you have 4 seasons in 3 days.
Exactly. But the one good thing, while we talk about the weather a little bit longer, is it's going to be in the 60s and 70s this weekend. So I'll take that, right?
Absolutely.
And Easter egg hunts and all that. So at least at our house, we'll have an Easter egg hunt, and it's a lot more enjoyable if it's not 25 degrees outside. So
absolutely. And I'll take it. Everything's starting to look green. Even this, when it melts, we'll bring those flowers up just that much faster. So I'm ready.
Yeah. Christy says, good morning from sunny Marine City.
Good morning, Christy.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We just wanted to buy a little bit of time, allow some people to pop on. My name is Taylor Fedowa. I do our communications here at MiRealSource. This is our Mixing It Up episode 25. So it's been, I think, almost exactly a year. End of March is when we started these this variety show series that we do. So from anywhere from just Colleen and I talking about things that are going on in the industry or the MLS, or bringing our CEO on, to guest presenters of something that might be interesting for you guys. My co-host, Miss Colleen.
Good morning.
So Colleen works for the MLS as well. She does the account management and helps with the data sharing, as well as tons of projects and everything that her and I work on together, and some that I'm not even a part of. So she's a busy lady here at MiRealSource.
Taylor's very modest. She really gets us all going in the right direction. She's the creative one. We're so blessed to have her on our team because she's always coming up with new, great, innovating, marketing ways that we would have never thought to reach people. So I'm blessed to work with you. I'm always picking up great stuff from you.
Thank you, Colleen. And you're the hustler. You're the hustler of the crew. And so we have an amazing guest that we're so excited about. Last night, I was like, I cannot wait to hear everything more in detail. We had our little brief meeting, but more in detail of things that you provide and services. So our guest is Miss Sharon McRill. She works with the Betty Brigade, and they do many, many things for realtors, homeowners, and she has a whole presentation for you guys on her services, as well as some tips for you guys that she's going to talk about. And we're going to have some giveaways today for you guys. Sharon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Taylor and Colleen. And I had such a blast talking to you guys last week. You were so fun. We talked about some stuff that we will not be sharing on camera.
Yeah.
I love it.
We do have some funny stories, though, right? Just maybe some more appropriate ones.
Yes. We will be talking about the camera ready stories today, yeah. but yes, I have seen a lot of stuff. As Taylor already mentioned, my company is called the Betty Brigade. I'm the owner and founder. I started it almost 18 years ago, and we specialize in organizing and clear outs.
And everybody, I think everybody is experiencing a lot of those estates, unfortunately more and more of those going on the market. So I am thrilled to hear what you have to say today. Even just our brief conversation, I learned a ton from you. And it's the stuff that we don't think about. It's the problems that we have every day walking in. And I say this as an agent, walking into these houses and they're in disarray, or, we were talking a little bit about hoarder situations, talking, about the things that we're seeing. And obviously we want to get these listings on the market as fast as possible. We have no inventory. We were just looking at the gross points this week, and seeing these numbers down 60 and 70%. And that's from last year, and there wasn't that much to sell last year. So we are in a situation where we desperately need the Betty Brigade, because we're walking in and we're seeing these houses in just disarray, and we're trying so quickly to get them on the market, and to obviously make sure that our sellers are getting the maximum price, but to make sure that there's enough inventory for us to sell. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how it works.
Sure. I'd be happy to, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity. So we work with realtors all the time, and we love working with realtors because we feel like we are a support service for you. We think you want to kind of think of us as project managers for your homeowner. We know that realtors want to be involved and want to get things done for homeowners, but honestly, your job is not to clear out their closets. Your job is not to be sorting through their basement. Let them do that with us, because we are experts in helping them figure out what they're keeping and what they're not keeping. We're also experts in what sells and what doesn't sell. So a lot of folks think, and we had this happen last week, a guy said, well, come to my storage unit, and he thought that he would just give us his stuff and that was how we got paid. That is not how we get paid. So how it works is that we come to a consultation, and we're looking at everything in the entire house. We're looking what needs to be sorted, what needs to be trashed or recycled, what can be sold, but we're also looking at what needs to be repaired, what needs to be improved. We're looking at painting and cleaning and landscaping. We're looking at chimney repair. We're looking to see if there needs to be pest removal, or woodchucks taken out from that have dug under the house. We're looking at all of those things, and we're putting together a plan for that homeowner, and sometimes that is in conjunction with the real estate agent to make sure that this plan happens in a timely way.
Right.
And the thing that makes us a bit different is that it takes the average homeowner 6 to 8 weeks, if they're really motivated, to get their home on the market. It takes us 6 to 8 days for that same house. So
Woo!
what that means for you as an agent is that the ROI goes way up on that house, because you're listing it faster. The homeowner is getting their money back in their pocket faster. Is there a cost to this? Absolutely. We do a lot of labor. And guess what? That inventory goes up because you're getting houses listed quicker.
And that's what we all need right now. There are just not enough houses on the market. And you're right. Right now, we are in an amazing time for sellers. I mean, they're seeing multiple offers, way over asking. But you're right, 6 weeks from now, this spring market is going to be moving into more of a summer market, and we don't know what that will be. So I think it's exciting, because you're right. If we have to go in and start working on this, we have to find all of these people. We've got to get it painted. And that's 6 to 8 weeks. We're losing valuable market time that we could get our sellers more. So that's really good advice.
Yeah. And
Right.
Didn't you mention during our meeting something about a lot of people kind of were holding off for the year a little bit because of stuff that was going on? So that might be, a positive here going into the spring market, that there's going to be people that were kind of being reserved the last year because of everything. And they're ready to turn around and start listing and getting that house on the market. So.
Yep. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that adult children of older people, we're seeing even seniors themselves holding off on selling their homes because A, they don't want to move, or B, they don't have a place to move to. And I understand that. Like, if I sold my house tomorrow, I wouldn't have a place to go. So I'd get a great price, but I'd have to travel the world, which, oh gee, that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Get an RV for a while until your house is built, or you find that house if
Right.
you can.
So what we are often seeing, and this is no joke, is that the clients, the homeowners, are coming to us and saying, please don't connect me with realtors yet, because I'm not ready to talk to a realtor. And once we've gotten, once we've had the estate sale and gotten the house ready for sale, then often the last step is saying, okay, well, this house is ready. Let's now bring in the realtors and let the homeowner choose the realtor. And how it works for us is we never, ever take a commission from anything we do. So if there's an estate sale, which we don't actually have the estate sales, and I do a whole presentation on just estate sales, but we don't do the sale. We have estate sellers that do the sale. We don't sell the house. We have real estate agents, because you guys are specialists at this. We want you to do this. And so when we get referrals from agents, we give referrals right back. And so we're keeping a list in our office of who has given us referrals and how can we return that favor, because we don't want to exchange money for it. We just want to raise all the boats.
Yeah. And one thing that we did provide in the chat, there's actually a couple things that we provided in the chat for you. One of them is that referral form, so that you guys can build that relationship with Sharon moving forward, if this is something that you think that you will be implementing or just kind of want to have in your back pocket with your clients. Do you kind of just see it equal in terms of realtors working with you and referring their homeowners to you, and then homeowners coming to you first before they even want to deal with realtors? Because you mentioned that,
No,
but it does go both ways.
No, we probably get more referrals from realtors than we do from individual homeowners, because there's more realtors out there that are listing more houses. So it's, they have a bigger catalog of clients than just, a single homeowner, although we do work with single homeowners, of course.
Okay.
And one of the things that we get asked by realtors all the time is, what area do you work in? Well, we're based here in Ann Arbor in Southeast Michigan, but we cover all of Michigan, and we also cover the US. So if you have a client who has a home here in Michigan and a home in Colorado, let's just say, we can do a virtual estimate of that home in Colorado and give the client a price on both houses.
Awesome.
Great. That's great. And I love that you give back the referrals. I think that's so important. When you're handing business out, you want to make sure that you're getting that business back. And I think that's a great system.
You mentioned, sorry.
Yeah, that's important to us. We give a lot of referrals, not to just realtors, but to junk haulers and to cleaning services and to real estate agents and to estate sale companies and to consignment dealers. That is how we've built the business, is that we don't just give out referrals. We also want them back because that is how we grow. What were you going to say, Taylor?
About the Realtor Toolkit, which we did provide in the chat, just some information about that. Or we provided, the link to it with some information. So do you want to talk a little bit about that for everyone?
Yeah, so we do so much work with realtors, and one of the things that is really important to us as a company is to get that home and that homeowner cleared to close. We believe that getting a house clear to close is something that you want as well. No, we don't want anything coming between you and that sale falling apart. So we're looking for things inside the house when we're doing the clear out. We're looking for, is there any water problems? Is there electrical problems? Is there any pests? Those are the big ones, but there's always like little things, asbestos, or, well, not that asbestos is small. I mean, but we've had asbestos remediated in homes. We've had chimneys repaired. We've had all kinds of things done to make sure that house goes to closing smoothly. And so we created what we call a realtor toolkit. And you can get that by just putting in your name and your email address into our system. And I promise we will not spam you. I promise. We don't want to upset our realtors. But with that toolkit, you get a free ebook. You get a checklist for getting homes on the market quickly that you can share with your homeowner so that they can kind of go through. And there is a third thing that I am forgetting what it is. Anyway, there's 3 things that you get as a download when you sign up for the Realtor Toolkit.
Awesome. Do you want me to make you a presenter so that you can show some of the things that you're talking about?
I don't think so. I think that folks can just go there. I think what I do want to mention though is the referral link, okay. and that's something that we want you to save on your desktop or save in your bookmarks, because it allows you to put in your information and your client's information, and it allows you to tell us, is this an urgent need or is this something where they're going to take their time? And we're still going to quickly be reaching back out to the client, and we do that within 24 hours as soon as we get the referral. It allows you to give us a bit more information about your client. And with agents that we have deep relationships with, agents that we work with all the time, they will often pick up the phone and call us and say, hey, by the way, here's some things that you need to know before we walk in that house, so that we can really make sure that we can serve that client and serve the realtor in a way that feels good.
Yeah.
That's terrific. All right.
I did just pull it up real quick for everybody, but so they see all of the fields that you guys offer. And just so you guys know, we have a questions panel right here too. We mentioned the chat, so any questions that you do have for Sharon that you would like her to answer, we'll be looking through those just to be able to ask her throughout the presentation. One thing that I have to ask, which I'm sure you're probably getting bombarded with this, but what are one or two of your favorite spring tips?
There are a lot of spring tips. If you haven't already, go through those winter clothes. And today might not be a great example because there's snow on the ground here in Michigan, to start putting away the cold weather clothes. But look at the cold weather clothes that you have in your closet and say, is this something that I'm going to wear, or was this something that I bought just because there's a pandemic and I wanted more sweats? Yeah, I know.
It's already 2 pair of black sweats. That would be me.
I was going to say, I'm all about the stretchy waistband right now.
And about maybe 6 more of them came this year.
So really look at, and maybe it's that you're looking at some of those clothes that are really uncomfortable, and you're like, why do I have these uncomfortable clothes when I really don't want to wear them?
Yeah, I'm notorious for that. I get sentimental about my clothes, or optimistic that I'll be able to fit in them again.
Yeah. You have the skinny. You have what I have: the skinny closet, and then the fat closet, and then the closet you're presently in. Yeah, I understand.
Forgiveness closet too. I mean, that's all there.
And we see that all the time. We really do. And it doesn't mean that you need to completely redo your entire closet. It just means get rid of that sweater that every time you put it on, the sleeve turns the wrong way. Get rid of that thing that has the little sweater pills all over it that you can't ever really get it off, or that something that maybe has some stains on it. Get rid of that stuff. There is no reason to keep it, because guess what? When we are able to be in front of each other, we want to look good, don't we? And so let's not save the clothes that are junky. Or if you are saving them, save them to work in your garden. Save them to work in areas where it doesn't matter if those clothes get ruined.
Right.
Good idea.
Painting clothes. You mentioned something about all the like handiwork that comes along with the process. Something cool you mentioned about your services and your handyman. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So one of the things that kept coming up, and we've been doing this a long time, as I mentioned at the top of the show, 18 years, what ended up happening is we kept referring handyman services out. And my husband used to be a contractor, and I finally said, come on, honey, like, come into the business. Let me just funnel you work. And because that's what happens is as we're clearing out a house, we're looking at, okay, that railing needs to be replaced or tightened up. It needs new front steps. It needs fresh paint, a fresh coat of paint in, a couple of rooms, or wallpaper removed, or maybe somebody wants to take an antique light fixture with them. And so we need to put up a fresh light fixture for the new buyer. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. And we opened up a handyman division. My husband runs that, and we have 3 guys that work on the handyman division. These are real employees. They are not subcontractors. There are no subcontractors that work for Betty Brigade. We always have real employees that are federally, state, and local background checked. So our handyman division can do those small projects, and people can hire us just for handyman. They don't have to hire us for the organizing or the relocation if they don't want to. You realtors can also hire us for handyman, because I know that sometimes you guys get so busy that you don't always have time to take care of your own homes.
Yeah, that's amazing, because finding a handyman nowadays is like a diamond in the rough, because we have our one go-to guy, thankfully. But I know, like, a lot of he's like, just let people know about me, because there's demand out there, but everybody wants the bigger jobs, not just necessarily, something that you don't have time to do or have that skill set to do. So,
and that's so true. And there's really so few tradespeople anymore. They are hard to find. I know I worked at 2 larger brokerages, and you always see in their, in their private pages, does anybody have a handyman? Does anybody have a handyman? And it's hard to find. It's hard to schedule them out. And, especially when you're working, like you said, we walk into these houses, and I had a hoarder house not that long ago, and it needs to be painted. It needs to be cleaned. It needs a handyman. We have to have a municipal inspection, and nothing is going to pass. And you're right. I mean, that's all very time consuming, and there aren't a lot of tradespeople anymore. And if you do find one, sometimes they're booked up for several weeks. So it's a hot mess. So that's awesome that you have. And by the way, it's nice that you can roll over and tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, I got a project for you today.
Yes, but we had to make it really clear that I was not my husband's boss. And so that's one of the things, like, we keep those 2 divisions separate. You
still talk about work at home too much.
Oh, of course we do, but it's one of those things where you can still call the main phone number, and you can ask for handyman or Betty Brigade. I do want to kind of denote, though, that our handyman service only goes out to Southeast Michigan. They do not cover the entire state. They do not go outside of Michigan. That we just don't have the capacity to do that. But we can do those projects where, you're getting bids on painters, you're getting bids on, small repairs. They're doing a deck repair tomorrow. Those are the kinds of things that are really simple. Power washing the outside of a house or a deck to get it, that mildew that builds up on the outsides of houses. That's easy for us. We love to do this. Our guys are great and easy to work with. And one of the cool things that we do that is very different than other handyman divisions is that we send a daily update. Here's what happened today. Here's some photos of what we did. And so that if you are working with folks in other states, you can share that with them and say, hey, here's the handyman that did your work, and here's some photos.
Yeah, that's amazing, because just from my personal experience, not with the guy that we've worked with, but just from other times where we've hired out contractors, is you never know. There's the communication part isn't necessarily there. And so then I feel like sometimes I'm that annoying person that's like, what's going on, and hounding them, where all I want is just a little bit of an update, or you to touch base with me on the status on something, or what was accomplished today. So landscaping was one thing that we struggled with a couple years ago. That was just a mess. So that's a really good feature to have.
That is really nice. I don't know of anyone who does that, so that is really a nice benefit.
Well, it was actually a rollover from our Betty Brigade side, because our team leader, Betty's, when we're doing organizing or when we're doing a relocation, we send a daily update of here's what happened today. It's all bullet pointed. Here's what's coming up next, and a tentative timeline of the project, so that not only does the homeowner and maybe their relatives in another state know, but also we often include the realtor on that, so that the realtor knows exactly what's happening and when to schedule photos, when to schedule to start having showings. So all of that is kind of outlined, so the realtor doesn't have to keep bugging the homeowner and saying, so how's it going with your project? What kind of progress are you making? The realtor has that in their inbox, and they can pay attention to how the project is moving forward.
Nice.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And what a nice benefit, especially for like estates and things like that. You know, they have so much on their plates, and you know, you're trying to come up with a guideline and a time frame. So that's great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We had a really good question. Do you mind if I jump in with one of the questions that came in the panel, Taylor? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Yep. I was wondering. I think I saw that one come through.
One of the questions that came up was, what was one of the most challenging or one of the worst situations that you had to deal with? And we know that you can only tell the G-rated version, so that's okay.
So there had been a lot, and when I get asked this kind of a question, it always goes to hoarding, every time. Hoarding is something, because we have a large team and because we are experienced in working with hoarders, we often get handed those hoarder projects. And I will just preface this before I share one of those harder projects. I will let you know that when we are working with an active hoarder in a home, we actually ask that they are in therapy, because the hoarder, if they aren't in therapy and someone isn't working with what's going on up here, the stuff will just come right back, because we can clear out their stuff all day long. We can help them figure out where that stuff goes, but they will keep rebuying it. They will keep refilling their house unless they are in some sort of treatment program. So we really want to make that clear. Often the family says, you know what, let's get them moved first, and then you can clear out the space. And that does not require therapy. So sometimes we're doing it that way.
Okay.
So I want to tell you about a house, a project that we did in Sylvania, Ohio, which is just over the Michigan border. And this lady had a 5-bedroom house that she was using as a storage unit. And she also had a condo where she lived here in Michigan. And she wanted some of the stuff that was in Sylvania moved back to Ann Arbor. And she also wanted to sort through it and get rid of a few things. The sad part about this one, and why it stands out and why it was difficult, was because her 2 daughters had stopped talking to her because of her hoarding. They had literally cut off having communication with their mom, and would not allow her to see her grandchildren because of the hoarding. It had gotten to such an extreme point. We were asked to come in. We did ask that she get in therapy, and she did. And the daughters then both started talking to their mom again. The daughters were involved in this clear out process, which was great, because like the entire garage, there was probably, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 boxes inside the garage of just paperwork from the daughters' schooling, like all of the report cards, all of the little craft projects they made, all of the math papers that they brought home. Every single one of them was kept. And
Wow.
The daughters were saying, we don't want any of this. And mom kept saying, oh, but you do. And the daughters would say, no, mom, we don't. And so I would have to step in and say, this is a great conversation for the therapist, because mom doesn't want to let go of these things, and the daughters don't see any value in them.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting the house right up to the point where she could sell the house. We had sorted through the entire house. We had brought in an auction service to help get it on the market, because we were going to be selling as is. And in Ohio, when you are selling as is, you cannot use a realtor. which is interesting. You have to, if you are selling stuff in the house, you have to use an auction service because they can sell the house and the contents. And so it was kind of an unusual situation. And the auction service came in and said, yep, we can do this. And this was right before Thanksgiving. And there was tons of toys in this house. So it would have been perfect timing to have the sale and sell all the Christmas decorations and all these toys. And Mom stopped it. Mom said, nope, we're not moving any further. And she stopped her therapy. She stopped our services. And the daughters thanked us and said nobody has ever gotten her to this point before. Nobody got her right up to the finish line, but she wouldn't cross that finish line. So again, this is very much a psychological issue. And as a realtor, you cannot solve this. As an organizer, I cannot solve this. This has to be solved in therapy.
So Sharon, do you think we're seeing more of this? I was talking to someone just this week who said that they were doing a house clean out. It happened to be for their parents, and it was 17 dumpsters of stuff because they were, and now they had a larger house with outbuildings. But are you seeing more of this in our market?
I don't know that we're seeing more of it. I think it's just more visible because the people who aren't moving, the people who are holding back on their homes are often stuck there. They're stuck in their stuff. They're stuck in, they don't know how to move forward. They're so overwhelmed by their things.
Gotcha.
So I don't know that it's more. I think, and I'm, that being said, caveat, there is a hoarder in every single neighborhood.
Oh.
Every neighborhood, there is a hoarder.
Wow. It's amazing to think about. Just more people who need you, right? Need your help.
Yes, and they're not all of our, some of them are not our clients. We turned down a project this morning that the lady cannot even shower herself. So those are the kinds of things where it's not that we're turning down the project straight out, it's that we're bringing in social services and not like we're bringing in a social worker to help her get to the point where we can even come in and help her. So we're not saying no. The same thing, like if there were a sewer backup or if there were an asbestos issue in a house, it's not that we're turning down the project. It's that we're saying these things need to be done first, and then Betty Brigade can come in. And we also manage getting those companies in there for the realtor to make sure that it gets done properly.
That's perfect. I think that takes us right into Taylor's next question. So
yeah,
perfect.
Well, one comment though too on here from Christy. She just said she had 7 probate sales last year that all required the adult kids to clean out their parents' homes. And have you kind of seen that a lot with things that are going on with COVID? Because that kind of is a nice segue into my COVID questions for you.
Yep, Christy, thank you for bringing that up. And yes, we do tons of work with probate and estate and trust work where someone has passed away or someone has taken over the conservatorship of their parents because of some sort of disability. We can step in when there is a conservator or when there is a trustee or an executor on an estate and help make that happen. So just know that that is something that we have been doing for many years and we are well versed in it.
I just have to read this comment because this is amazing. Going back to how, so we had a conversation when we were getting ready for the show about how these hoarders are so attached to their stuff. Marilyn actually put a comment in and she said, I actually had a seller that climbed back into a dumpster to pull her stuff out after everyone had left the house. She called me and cried. She was doing it apparently, I believe, because of her children. So yeah, this hoarding is, it's such a terrible disease for them, and it's so serious, and it's so nice that you really do help them. And I know you talked a little bit about how you go through that. Maybe you can kind of explain a little bit how you assist in some of these, if they're in therapy and they're following, your protocol. How does that work?
Well, we also want to make sure that they're a good fit. We don't want to walk in and just rip stuff out of people's hands. That's not nobody wants to do that. That doesn't sound like fun. We want folks that are motivated to make change. And we want folks that are interested in improving their situation, that they don't want to stay in that glut of stuff, that they are willing to move forward and they are willing to make changes in their own lives. And we also know that regardless of how willing they are, at some point during our process, they will have some sort of breakdown. We know this. We know that they will, hang on to some sort of thing in an irrational way because that's where their brain goes. Mm-hmm. And so this is another reason why we are asking for the therapy. But usually when that happens, so we're identifying the client, and we actually have a checklist. It's right on our website that says, "Are you ready for Betty?" And it allows the client to choose us as much as we are choosing the client. We don't accept every client. Some clients, as I mentioned, the lady from this morning, she needs a social worker to come in and help her with some mobility issues, to help her get her laundry and her other stuff handled before we come in, because that's not our job. Our job is not to be social workers. Our job is to clear the stuff and to make it safe and to get the home ready for sale in such a way that if it is as is, that's okay. But can we get it broom clean, or does there need to be more work done?
So what are some of the things that you guys have implemented with COVID?
So we have our own COVID protocol, of course, and we take temperatures and go through a checklist with our team. And if anybody is feeling even a tickle in their throat, they stay home. Like, we do not want to, because we work with so many older clients, we do not want to put anyone in jeopardy. And we also ask the same for our clients. If they are not feeling well, that they call us so that they aren't accidentally infecting one of our team. But we work with masks all day. The only time we don't work with masks, we did a job last year that it was a $3.2 million house, and we were able to put each staff member in their own room in each part of the house, and like nobody really overlapped. It was such a big property that folks could work without masks and feel safe. Yes. But normally, most homes, we are working all day in a mask. The only time we take it off is when we have our lunch, and we ask our clients to keep a 6-foot distance from us so that we can stay safe. And as the vaccines are opening up, I got my first vaccine yesterday, letting our team choose whether or not they want to have a vaccine, because we know everybody doesn't want to, and our clients don't all want to. However, we are still going to keep that protocol in place so that everyone stays safe.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Just another comment where she said she had a house with 2 owners had passed both from COVID, and they used a company that sterilizes the home, all new ground for realtors, and how they go about handling in between showings and homeowners that have passed away from COVID and stuff like that. So that's good to hear that you guys are, following all that, especially because you made a good point about having a lot of older clients, and, obviously they're most susceptible. So you want to make sure that you guys are covering all grounds there.
One of the things we are seeing with COVID is that a lot of donation centers have either closed or have really restricted how they pick up. Many donation centers are still not taking things with fabric on them, like couches and chairs, or they will not enter the home. For donation, especially if there are large pieces of furniture, those pieces of furniture need to get into the garage, or they need to get out into a driveway. So those are the kinds of things that we're having to make extra consideration for, and making sure that our clients know that up front.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome. So can I just ask, because we had a comment kind of that directs us this way, but what is the process? So I call you, I'm standing in this house, I need to get on the market as fast as possible. What is the process? Can you walk us through that?
I sure can. So the process is, step one is always a consultation that can either be done virtually or in person. Doesn't matter, as long as the person walking us through virtually is tech savvy enough to use their phone or their tablet, it should be fine. We're looking at not only so Betty Brigade sorts and packs and helps the client decide what they're keeping and what they're not keeping. So that's kind of our job. Our job is also to figure out what other vendors are needed for that project. Do they need a painter? Do they need a cleaner? Do they need a landscaper? Do they need someone to reupholster their favorite chair? Do they need some specialty dealers? We have dealers that specialize in coins, stamps, guns, jewelry, art, and books. We have, we're looking at, is there enough left after the client has taken what they want? Is there enough left to have an estate sale, or do we just need to bring in consignment dealers and donate the rest? We're looking at all of those factors and putting together a list, and we have something we call a summary, and it has a big grid in it of all of the vendors the client needs, including realtors sometimes if there isn't already a realtor attached. It has everything from things that will cost small amounts of money, like boxes, things that will cost no money, like donations, and things that will cost money, like a plumber or a cleaner or a handyman service or a landscaper. And we're getting bids on all of those services, including movers, estate sale people, and lining them all up in the right order, creating a timeline of starting from, if we were to come in next week, how long would it take us to get this house on the market? And not only how long would it take us, but when you have an estate sale, it adds typically an extra month to when you can list that house. But there are caveats around that, like if you're a realtor and you know that you're already under contract with a client, and the client says, I'm having an estate sale and then I will move, because I'm not moving before I've got that, before I've got a buyer, that's fine. However, we're saying to that agent, make sure you get your one sheet listed and ready so that the estate sale company can give it out at the estate sale for anybody who is interested, because there's going to be a lot of people that just walk through that house that are interested in the house. They don't, they may buy something for $1, but they're not really there for the estate sale. They're there to look at the house. So we're kind of working both sides of this, of making sure that the project is happening and creating that timeline. And then once there's been a sale, or once the stuff has been moved off premises, sometimes it's a storage unit, although we don't recommend that, because once it goes into a storage unit, it's like it goes into a black hole. My team right now, I have 4 people working on today, a lady who put stuff in storage 4 years ago. She was our client. We put it in storage for her at her insistence, and now she is back. She lives in Louisiana. She's back here in Michigan today, and we are cleaning out those 4 storage units because she decided she didn't want most of it. So those are the kinds of things that we are saying, don't put it in storage unless you have a very temporary situation, like you're building a new house. Then yes, you should put it in storage until your new house is ready. Those are the kinds of things that we're recommending. Once the estate sale has happened, Betty Brigade comes back in and helps. If there's anything still of value in the house, we're shopping it to our consignment dealers and saying, hey, can you give this a second chance to sell? We get those dealers over to the house, and then the rest goes to donation. And then if the house needs to be painted or cleaned, that's when that step happens. And we're laying out that whole timeline for the realtor so that they are aware of how quickly this can happen. Is there new carpet being put in, or new flooring in any parts of the house? Does there need to be any repairs done that couldn't be done while the homeowner was still living there? All of those kinds of things. And we're looking at that entire project.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really good to know, especially with, the remaining items and what to do with it. That was something that we struggled with personally. We don't want to waste things. You just don't want to get a dumpster. I mean, at a point I wanted just to get a dumpster and get everything, because we went there as adult children, emptying out a house. We're still not even there where we want to be yet. But a big thing that was a lot of back and forth between the siblings was recycling. and what to reuse, what we could keep, what we could sell. And you said that you guys do a lot in terms of recycling, which is really important for many people. So would you like to touch base on that a little bit?
Yeah, we've won 3 recycling awards, and we have really added this as part of our service. It's not an add-on. It's just part of what we do, that we recycle as much as we possibly can. And so it's not just glass, plastic, metal, and paper, which is what most people recycle, but we're also recycling old paint and chemicals, because most houses have that. We're recycling old medications, even if we can, getting them to Doctors Without Borders to allow them to use those meds in a way that would help people who otherwise can't afford them. We're also recycling old towels and sheets that can go to humane societies if they've got stains or rips, things like that. We even recycle eyeglasses. We recycle, and this is my favorite one, it's called, we recycle old fur coats, because if they're not stored properly, the pelts start to split. And so there's an organization out there called Coats for Cubs. And so when Mama Fox or Mama Bear gets hit by a car, they go and like grab these cubs up, and when they sleep on real fur, the cubs, they are more easily returned back to the wild. And so it's great that we can use these coats that would have otherwise gone in the trash because they can't be resold, and they can help little baby animals come back into the wild.
Wow, that's so cool.
my
All these different places that you don't think of. It's not like it's one simple, drop off. You guys are handling all those different moving parts and different relationships. And I mean, that was kind of the stuff that we were trying to figure out, like, where do we get rid of, where do we drop off all these clothes? What do we do with all these towels, old blankets that we definitely don't want anymore? Yeah, that's really cool too about the fur coats. We don't have fur coat problem, but that's that's awesome. And
That is, I didn't even know that existed. I had no idea that existed. That is amazing. That is so great. And Doctors Without Borders, I never even thought about medications, because you're not supposed to, obviously just dispose of those. So, I mean, it's so great that you find such great, unique causes for this stuff. That is really cool. I had no idea. So.
Yeah, we try hard to do. We have another organization that works with wedding dresses. It's called the Brides Project, and it's affiliated with University of Michigan Cancer. And what they do is they take in wedding dresses and refurbish them. They clean them and sell them to brides. And the proceeds from those wedding dresses help cancer patients who can't otherwise afford treatment. So there's lots of different places that we have gathered around us over the 18 years we've been doing this to find sources where things go. And we really try hard to make that happen. And does it happen 100% of the time? No, but we have put enough systems in place to try our best to do that.
Man, that is so cool. So not only are you cleaning a house and helping everyone get more inventory, but you're actually helping our world too. I mean, the Doctors Without Borders and the fur coats, I had no idea. That is incredible. What a great cause.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't know that about medication either. Like, we had to dispose of medication. Thankfully, our township had a place, and then the police station and everything that we were able to work with. But yeah, it was, some of it wasn't even expired. It was fine, and it was like, total waste. So
yeah, and pharmacies legally cannot take that stuff back. But what they can do is they can funnel it to organizations like Doctors Without Borders, or they can funnel it to shelter organizations that can take that for folks that are homeless.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. We're learning so much, even like so much more just even from our little meeting that we had. So one other thing that I just wanted to talk about is the benefits for realtors and your Con Ed.
Yep.
Just to kind of make sure we mention that for them, because they're always interested in Con Ed information and hours. So
Absolutely. So Betty Brigade offers a 1-hour Con Ed, and it's called What to Do with All the Stuff, How to Get Your Clients Home in MLS Faster. And we offer that free to realtors. So if that's something that you want to do in your office, you can just contact us through our Contact Us page. In the notes, you just put, I'm interested in Con Ed for my office. Kim in our office, who answers the phones, will be able to help set that up. Or I can do a quick 10 to 15 minute call with your broker to talk a little bit about what that entails. But it talks specifically about all of the places stuff goes. I talk about coats for cubs. I talk about recycling. And I also talk about a lot about how it works to work with an estate sale company. And because there's a lot of parameters, we get calls at least once a week from a realtor saying, can you recommend a good estate sale company? Yes, we can. We work with about 10 of them, but there are some that are more specific to hoarding. There are some that are super high end. There are some that specialize in mid-century modern. We are trying to match the stuff in the house with the estate sale company so that that homeowner gets the best deal. To go back to your Con Ed, yes, we offer it free. So you can do that. We also partner with a guy, his name is Howard Collins, and he does an hour of Con Ed of legal. And he talks about conservatorships and probate for real estate agents. And so you can get an hour of Con Ed of general and an hour of Con Ed of legal if you book both of us, and you can coordinate that also through our office because we work with his office all the time on these Con Eds, and they can be done virtually.
Nice.
That is so cool. I'm totally going to take advantage of that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. A couple benefits I just wanted to mention since we're going to be wrapping up today is we're going to be doing a raffle of everybody who attended, and the 2 people that get drawn will receive Sharon's book. Do you want to talk a little bit about your book so that the winners can get excited about that?
Sure. So this is a book I wrote. It's called Downsizing the Silver Tsunami, Who to Call and Where Does the Stuff Go? This is something that you can use yourself or you can share with your clients. I will let you know that chapter 4 is called Why Your Realtor is Your New BFF. It's because we feel it's really important for homeowners to not sell FSBO. Like, that doesn't work, especially in today's market. It's just not good. So this is kind of a resource book that they can continue looking at. It talks about estate sales. It talks about how to hire vendors, all different kinds of things. It even in the back has a timeline of how to move, and it has it all broken down for you from 6 months out all the way till moving day. This is something that you can, it's a fast read, and it's also in 12-point font for older eyeballs because we know who our clients are. So we're going to give away 2 of those.
Nice.
All right, that's awesome.
One question from Marilyn asked if the Con Ed class is Zoom or online currently, or they have an option for in-person.
It's a Zoom, and they would have to set that up through our office.
Okay, cool. And then Christy said she wants to be on the mailing list.
Awesome.
Cool.
Excellent. When you sign up for the mailing list, and we hope you do, we give you 1 tip a week. We are not going to spam you. We are not going to send you all kinds of stuff you don't need. This is geared towards realtors.
And they find that, you might have mentioned it, but they find that through the Realtor Toolkit, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's where you sign up, is through the Realtor Toolkit, and you just get 1 tip a week about how to work with your clients more easily. You can also share it with your clients.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then just to close, I'll let you guys chime in for any last things to add. But besides the 2 drawings that we'll be reaching out, if you were on today's call, if you attended, we have our list of attendees that we will be providing to Sharon. You will get an outstanding offer of 10% and a free consultation for referring a client. So we just wanted to mention that.
Taylor, I'm going to just clarify that. So realtors get 10% off anything that they need to do personally in their own homes.
Oh, okay.
That does not mean for your brother-in-law. It does not mean for your dad. It means for you as a realtor, so you can experience how we work with our clients. So if you need a project done and you in your own home, we want to offer you this special thing. The other part is that if you refer us a job, normally our consultation is $100 because we're putting together an entire plan for your client. And if you are referring that client to us, that referral fee is waived. So, but your client or you need to let us know that you're referring us. They can't just say, well, you know, I don't know who referred me. That's not how it works. So if you are referring a client, use that referral link that Taylor gave you, or call our office and just let Kim know, and she will make sure that that $100 fee gets waived.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
And you can find out more information too in that handout section of GoToWebinar if you're looking for it. And then we had another question. So a lot of people liking the book idea. If they don't win the book today, can they get the book on Amazon, or how do they get a copy of the book?
They can link to it either through our website, bettybrigade.com, or you can go on Amazon. It's available in print, in Kindle, and this year we released an audio version. So if you like to listen to your books, there is an Audible version out there of Downsizing the Silver Tsunami. So lots of different ways for you to consume this product.
Taylor and I have little ones, so we're all about Audible. I love Audible books. I have to tell you, I'm always driving, and you know, with little ones, it's so hard unless it's got Curious George to finish the book. So I love that. I love that it's on an audio book too.
Yes. I just actually sent the link for everybody too, so that they can find that book if they're interested.
Thank you.
Ordering that, and it has everything from the Kindle and all that as part of it too. All right.
You're fast, Taylor. Thank you.
I actually had everything kind of opened up anyways, so that's why. But Marilyn just said, such a great presentation. I learned so much about your services. I'm excited to look into the toolkit and register to join your mailing list. It sounds like you're going to have a lot of people that want to join the mailing list. They do that through the Realtor Toolkit, which is a link that's provided, just to remind you guys, as well as a link and an attachment just about their services and what you can kind of expect there, and then a referral form for you to fill out. So all in the chat are links to those, and as well as the book if you wanted to order that.
You're getting a lot of great praise. I know Wynn says this was so great. Thank you so much. Mickey said, you know, I learned a lot. Christy said she's already signed up, so everybody's getting signed up. I'm going to sign up today too, so I'm excited. I didn't realize there were so many different organizations and so many. I never even thought about, you know, what do you do with the old towels and sheets, and you know, I never even thought about such great causes to give those to. So, and it's eye-opening.
I don't want to know how to negotiate a real estate contract. That is not my job. My job is to figure out where the fur coat goes. so
it's nice enough with no tears. Think of me. Just kidding.
Absolutely. I like you guys. You realtors do so much. You are hand holding those clients. You're negotiating for them. You are like a therapist and a salesperson and, you know, a travel agent. There's so much you guys are doing. You don't also need to clear the house. Let us do that for you.
Yeah, definitely.
That is awesome.
All right, and just to remind you guys, this is recorded and it will be on our YouTube channel. We have a whole playlist that's mixing it up. All 25 episodes are on there, so you can watch this at any time. And it should be on there either by the end of the day or early tomorrow for you guys to watch, as well as all the other ones. And webinars on all of our classes, recorded classes are on there. We also have a new YouTube series that we started called Real Stats with MiRealSource. Episode 1 has been put up on there that you guys can see. Let me just pull up YouTube real quick so I can go through this with you guys. Remind you of all the information that's at your fingertips through our YouTube channel. me share my screen. Okay. You're seeing my screen, Colleen?
I am.
Okay, cool. Under MiRealSource Media, youtube.com/MiRealSource Media, we have a playlist right here. Real Stats with MiRealSource. This is the newest series that we're putting out, just talking about what's going on in the market, just kind of, you know, in terms of interest rates, what agents can see, your general area, really broken down, and it's delivered in a really cute way from our host, who is Kyle Alford. All our recorded content and classes are on here, as well as a quick tip series on all of our products. And then down here, you'll see the Mixin' It Up playlist. So that's where you'll be able to find episode 25 from today. Okay. Do you have any last questions that I can ask Sharon before we pop off?
Sharon, I can't thank you enough. This was really great. I learned a lot. I'm excited. And I'm excited to know when I walk in a house, I don't have to spend all this time trying to figure out what to do. So you taught me a lot, and I'm very thankful. And Taylor did a great job putting all this together. So
yes, thank you both. I will let you know, because we often get folks who say, well, what does this cost? And the answer to that question is, well, it depends. You know, a hoarder house is way different than a minimalist house, and 10 years of stuff is different than 50 years of stuff. And so this is why we do a consultation, because we really want to create a solution for that homeowner that works for that house and not just rubber stamp it.
Right. Good. One last question. When asked, is there a special link for Con Ed? She just mentioned to go to the contact page on her website, and you just put that in the message that you're interested in Con Ed for your office.
Absolutely.
And Marilyn said, does your service include St. Clair County?
Yes, it covers all of Michigan.
Yep. Okay, so all Michigan, and you even do stuff outside of Michigan. So definitely St. Clair.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sharon. This was awesome.
Thank
really
you.
learned a lot. Yeah.
You asked great questions.
Okay, good. Good. I had to do the stereotypical one, though, about spring tips. You know, definitely think people appreciate that and will love the weekly tips, and we'll be utilizing your referral form as well. Yeah, people are like, I think the handyman service is definitely a huge plus. I'm gathering that from a few of these comments here, so that's amazing. All right, everyone.
She's moved to her slippers, and I'm embarrassed to say that I have bunny slippers on at the moment underneath.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the slippers.
Everybody have a great day and have a wonderful Easter. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next month on Mixin' It Up.
All right, bye. Thanks, Sharon, again.
Thank you, guys. This was fantastic.
Bye, Sharon. Thank you. Great job.